Hey everyone, welcome to Liverpool Fan in Japan with the Miyazaki man Sai. We have a midweek game against Luton on the Wednesday, but hold up right there. I see many people overlooking Luton, saying easy 3 points at Anfield and going straight to the Carabao EFL Cup this weekend against Chelsea, the final of course. But we did not climb to the top of the table or to throw it away at home against Luton with a dodgy selection. Let's get into it. But before we do, let me show you exactly what I mean. I specifically picked up something rather special just to prove my point. Looky. World famous Hasegawa Dango. Even the celebrities in Japan flock to this romantic honeymoon spot of Japan just to pick this stuff up. Trust me, stuff is good. Let's give this a gentle unwrapping that it deserves. Look at that gluttonous, sticky mochi goodness all around. Watch it unfurl. Now, some people are already overlooking luscious Luton in favour of the white hot final at Wembley. And even more so against Man City coming up. But no. You've got to give each opponent, each opposition that you face, the proper love and respect it deserves. Luton, proper delicious. At home as well. And only when you've overcome the tough, sticky opposition at Luton do you go on to demolish Chelsea. And some people are looking way too far ahead in the title race, like Man City on the horizon. Green players like Doku, Man City coming to Anfield don't stand a chance against Liverpool and in Japan. And only when you defeated the opposition one by one do you finally get a chance to get your hands on the precious Premier League trophy. Look at the Premier League. Yes, if we beat Luton, if we beat Chelsea and beat Man City, pure demolition job like I just demonstrated, you can get your hands on the Premier League, loft it up high, and then... I digress. Sorry, let's get on with the video. Now, speaking about respecting Luton, they might be without top scorer Adebayo again, but they do have some quality players in here. Premier League proven. Ross Barkley, for example, absolutely lighting up at Luton Town. Townsend back in with experience. They've even got Japanese star Daiki Hashioka at right back, although he might not make his debut. I don't know if he's acclimatised already yet, but actually a decent prospect, 24 years old. He might make strides in the Premier League in the coming seasons too. One to watch out for. But Luton are very, very physical, and they move the ball quickly, and they're not afraid to give it a proper go. Look at the result last weekend against Man United. Right, 2-1, barely scraped through United there. However, Luton against Liverpool were actually leading the whole way until Lucho Diaz came back, returned after obviously the trauma with the family issues back home, came in with a headed goal to equalise very, very late on. We were almost at the mercy of Luton, robbing us of a vital point because they, in fact, probably deserved more points than they got there. 1-1, Lucho Diaz rescued the game. We just couldn't find a breakthrough, be clinical enough. We lost the midfield battle as well. So ultimately, we have to give them the respect they deserve. The lineup will be very, very interesting. I think it'll go with kind of 3-5-2 formation Luton and really trying to compress where we like to play in the number 10 Mazzala positions. However, this is the Liverpool lineup that I think can do the job. Keeping in mind that we need to win to build up momentum so that we can inevitably go into Chelsea full of confidence with 3 points in the bag. So Liverpool actually have to play a little bit differently than they usually do because of Luton's formation. They actually go with a 3-5-2 formation, something similar to this, okay? So they actually pack the midfield like this. And if they're having a good game, it's this player here, the left-sided 8, actually goes in and behind, and they kind of play a 3-4-1-2 formation. So they always look to overload the midfield and they put a lot of pressure on your number 6 player here. And this is what kind of Crystal Palace did as well, to overwhelm us in midfield, turn over the ball when we had a dead hospital ball into the middle of the park, and we turned over possessions and they look very, very threatening, okay? So ultimately they're going to stay compact, stay tight. They will not give us any space in and around this area here, which Liverpool like to operate, especially in this right-sided half channel here, because we usually are very productive from this position, thinking of Salah cutting in, Soboslai, Harvey Elliott, even Trent roaming that position. So with this kind of shape in mind, we've got to be a little bit cute and a little bit clever, because where are the spaces? Even if you hit it in behind, these players can close in pretty quickly on any given player as well. So they're looking to sit back, absorb the damage and play on the counter-attack with two athletic players who are looking to pull you apart, similar to what a lot of opposition do. Two players who pull you apart and then progress the midfield forward into our spaces as well, especially converging on our number 6. And if we go into double pivot, then we're still outnumbered in that regard. So how do we counter this? Okay, so I'm going to look at taking off the losing players for now. So let's go with the starting line. Obviously, Queeve in goal, a very well deserved, top-notch performance last match. Unlucky not to keep a clean sheet. Stunning reactionary saves. He's coming bang into form just for the cup final. I knew he'd start the cup final. Klopp is a man of integrity, a man of his word. Queeve is a Carabao EFL Cup keeper and deserves his place. Obviously here, the first choice is Connor Bradley against Joe Gomez. Now, what are you looking to do here? Because Joe Gomez has been in white-hot form for the whole season thus far when he's playing week in, week out. And do we rely on him against Chelsea in the cup, considering that our back line was Bradley on the right and Gomez on the left? Now, Robertson is back as well, giving us that natural balance. What are Chelsea looking to do in that final? And whether we start Gomez or Bradley ultimately determines what we're looking to do in this particular match. Now, there could be a world where Gomez starts in left back, but we have our left back options back now, Kostas Tsimikas and Andrew Robertson. But keeping with form and keeping with what we're trying to do, I think Connor Bradley starts this match with a view that he is in irresistible form at the moment and cannot be dropped. He is also transitioning into the middle of the field where he's ball playing left foot, right foot, ability to hold on to the ball and pick out the right pass and transition at the right time. What a gem, what a star. In fact, there's an argument to be made that Trent doesn't deserve this place back, even in lieu of him overcoming his injury. Now, right side of defence, another choice here. Gomez, Konate, Quansah. If you're looking at absolute dominance, it's Van Dijk and Konate first choice. Safe as houses, you know what you're going to get of them. Quansah could come in against this physicality against Luton, but then you're having a right side of Quansah and Bradley backed up by Kelleher, a very young, very youthful right side, and usually you'd ask for a experienced head in right of midfield to really assist with it, and that's where it becomes interesting, because our right midfield options at the moment are Alexis McAllister, Harvey Elliott, Ryan Gravenberch. Potentially Wataru Endo, but Wataru Endo is needed probably in the 6th position. So that is looking like a very, very youthful right-hand side. And would you trust them against the physicality of Luton, who are really rough and tough? We get two of these back-to-back, Brentford and Luton, who will give as good as they get. Obviously, someone like Ross Barkley in midfield, you know, natural Evertonian, he will hold nothing back and go crunching in as well. So with that regard, Bradley is probably the pick here. And on the right side, I think for this particular game, give Konate a rest, because we need to bubble wrap him for the Chelsea game, because really he can go stride for stride with someone like Sterling, with Madrid. I love when Sterling tries to body Konate, because he just bounces off like a vertical bouncy castle, perpendicular. Off you go, Sterling, flying off the sideline. I want to see that a gif or something like that. Yeah, so I think Quansah comes in here. Now, it could potentially be Joe Gomez, but the reason why I would take Quansah in this position, obviously as a show of faith as well, he's aerially dominant. I think he's aerially slightly better than Gomez, but more importantly, Gomez can cover the entire back line for when you need him to slot in, God forbid, an injury or just a tactical variation or tactical change as well. Ably deputised by Van Dijk, who will cover as he always does. Captain Fantastic, he leads by example. And left back, there's an argument that Robertson shouldn't play so many games back to back, but he is a Duracell bunny. He is a machine. He is feisty, disciplined, holds the line well. Kostas Tsimikas is absolute quality, but as I mentioned in a preview of this, we got to win this match. We have to win this match. There's no point fighting so hard for so long against all the opposition, clawing tooth and nail, holding onto that crag and clawing your way up the league, perched on top of there, now looking down at Man City, considering the drop points against Chelsea, only to screw yourself over by choosing a weakened lineup, right? We go with Robertson, we go with Endo. Endo holds the line, protects the youngsters, probably more favouring this side, because you'd fancy 2 against 2. Robertson and Van Dijk can probably do the job, and Endo will probably predominantly be more covering this side. And I expect to see a lot of the times Endo, Bradley, Quansah, Van Dijk, Robertson, because in this kind of position, it means that we have more coverage wherever necessary. Right, Van Dijk can roam, can cover as well, and that gives us positioning, and Bradley can transition the ball, play the ball, and in underlap around the outside, then overlap around the right winger as well, so that gives us protection there. Also, we probably need to do that. The fact that Luton, as I mentioned, overload the 6th position, he's going to need support. So whether it's Quansah stepping through the line, which is probably slightly less consistent because he's not a Matip, but it's going to be Bradley probably helping Endo in this position alongside his midfielder holding the right half space there, right? It's probably going to be something along the lines of that, because we can't be overloaded on the offensive transition, and when they start to counter-attack us, we need bodies in there to compete. it's common principle. Whoever wins the midfield probably dominates the game. I know that we're in Anfield and we will dominate the game in possession, but Luton bring some nasty surprises and they give as good as they get. They're not a walkover by any means. So with Endo in there, who'd you go left side midfield? Curtis Jones is injured. Gravenberch played phenomenally well in the last match. Really on cue, on point. As I mentioned, Wataru Endo unleashes the new gravy and the new Big Mac dishes supreme, making dollar bills, pounds obviously UK. Alexis McAllister and Gravenberch are probably the two who call outstanding midfield choices here. However, I think you take Harvey Elliott in the right-sided 8 slot because Klopp trusts him in this position, and historically he's always trusted him in the right-sided number 8 position. Even when Henderson was still here, Elliott was the man in form until he done his ankle in badly. It was against Leeds, and Elliott could be on a right winger slot, but we still have Salah, and I don't believe the rumours around Egyptian FA Salah injury or whatever. They're still trying to undermine us because of the whole international ordeal with Salah coming back to Merseyside. I think Elliott predominantly as a midfielder connects things together. Bradley's a baller. Elliott is good enough to retain, give and go and receive as well. Okay, in this side then is a toss-up between McAllister and Gravenberch. Now McAllister's played a lot of games. He's really played a lot of games, but that midfielder Gravenberch, Elliott and Endo looks very much like a Europa League midfield. It's not in terms of quality, it's just what we put out in Europa League, what Jurgen Klopp puts out in Europa League. So with that in mind, I think McAllister comes on to give us the control, and obviously having scored a goal, he's probably looking to burst into the box and come up trumps and come up with another goal as well. And we need the intelligent maestros. Obviously these all guys are kind of chibi, except for Endo looks like a salmon, the fresh spring salmon of the moonlight, lunar eve, jumping to grab the first bait. I don't know what I'm talking about, but basically you know what I mean. Endo's an absolute monster in the air. Yes, so Elliott will be high up, and I think you might see this shape a lot of the time as well, right? This will be an interesting shape for Liverpool to do, because this is your free bucket holding scoop of water in the middle. Be like water, my friend, a Bruce Lee quote, whereby they can hold us firm, play tiki-taka. Robertson is around the outside, Quansah as an option, but Quansah won't be dribbling and bombing down the wing. He can actually do that. He fancies a bit of a run, you know, Quansah. He's got a few assists this season, and he's pretty decent there, but obviously be Bradley overlapping, which puts Mo Salah, if he is fit, if the rumours are not true, Mo Salah in this position, because if Salah cuts inside and inverts here, right, then Elliott will go around the outside. Now this is why I think Harvey Elliott plays as well, because a combination with Salah allows Salah to invert and Elliott going around the outside and Bradley and Quansah covering as well, and then you end up with this kind of shape, which is beautiful to see because Elliott can operate in this position. He did it for Blackburn, I want to say, with aplomb. Very good, dashing into space, very penetrative, and he works well with Salah and always gets Salah the ball. Salah, being a magician, can operate here and play make in his natural style and give. Would it be Nunes or would it be Gakpo? If Nunes had a bit of an injury doubt, questionable. But then again, it's Luton. If you get goals ahead early, you can rotate and hopefully keep the defensive shape enough to bring us home and bring us to win. If Nunes is fit, if Nunes is completely fit, i.e. it was just precautionary, no injury, Nunes starts. But for the sake of not knowing if Nunes is 100% fit, I think Gakpo could be starting this game. Now, if Gakpo starts this game, Salah crossing to Gakpo is quite predominant as well. I know Salah and Nunes have a little love in assisting each other, but on the left-hand side, with a lack of options, and if Nunes is not starting, then obviously it's Lucho Diaz. Now, Lucho Diaz does his usual thing, bobbing up and down on the left, which is very nice, because if, for example, McAllister, number 10, Lucho picks up the ball here, you can have a Robertson overlapping and providing options to crossing to Gakpo, Salah in predatory mode, very good, and McAllister roaming in and amongst their back three of the midfield of the 3-5-2, trying to disrupt, trying to probe and create the spaces, opening the spaces. Lucho's actually been picking the ball up in this position and just looking to probe as well, looking for the openings and looking for the ball. Gakpo, I think, will be a free roaming player to receive the ball, give and go, receive the ball, give and go, and if he can, do his back to goal turn and shot, because if we can get the ball to his feet, I think there's some joy in that regard. But I very much like this combination of Lucho and Robertson. It's probably our most natural left side tandem, because Robertson, quick whip ball around the outside like Trent does to Salah. Robertson can do around to Lucho as well, around the outside. You've got someone in the Mazzala position on the left hand side, receiving the ball, well backed up by Endo, allowing you to switch the play if necessary. Salah starting high, wide right, but he can cut inside and rotate with Harvey Elliott. Quansah and Van Dijk stepping up as well. Bradley being the support and the pivot around the outside, giving the options there, because if he goes in there. Obviously, Elliot covering. Now, this is not the ideal position because Elliot, for all his endeavour and gusto in pressing and defending, can get turned. He's not the most defensively responsible. He can't take the man out if he gets beaten or turned like Endo can. So I think Endo really has to roam around this Quansah Elliot side to give that security. But it's okay because McAllister can drop into the double pivot into the 6, allowing either Salah top of the diamond or Gakpo top of the diamond, Salah inverting to the top and Bradley giving the width out and around the right hand side, and Lucho just roams everywhere causing havoc because he knows that Robertson all game long will give the width down the left hand side, because Robertson in this space is a bit pants, a bit useless, doesn't do so much. He's quality, but yeah, let's admit it, Robertson is limited in the middle of the pitch. However, we have quality all around. Bradley is actually much better inverting, but a lot of times I see Endo and McAllister forming the double pivot here just because of Luton's formational transition to overload the midfield and playing their 3-4-1-2 formation. We really need to cover the additional man because the strikers on their side will be splitting us out wide. Kelleher's distribution is pretty good, and Elliot is a free roaming player, very versatile as well. So Salah could be at the top, Gakpo to the edge of the diamond, Lucho and Elliot giving position, which gives you a nice little diamond to attack their backline as well. And with the free, which one of the two goes, if both of them go out wide and you're left 1v1 with Salah in the middle, the midfielders drop back, which gives you space to dominate in these areas here, which I think we will do because McAllister and Endo are very, very good ball players. So unlike normal games where we have this position where we're trying to aim to, I think we'll get a lot of joy in this position here, working the ball out wide and giving it a proper go. Gakpo and Salah between them, I'm sure the goals will flow. So my overall prediction, I'm going with a solid 2-0 win against Luton. Upwards and onwards, top of the table, cement our position. Nunes doesn't need to come on if he has a knock. If he doesn't have a knock, he could even start, as I mentioned. But predominantly, I think we have enough to win this game. And hopefully no injuries, because we can't afford too much injuries, because I'll even do a video, our injured 11 against our full fit 11, and how good our injured 11 actually is. It's really, really top notch. Thiago Alcantara's in there. Of course he would be. Until next time, guys, make sure you like the video, smash the like. More videos like this coming up very, very soon. The like is very, very important. We're back over 1,000 views in the last video, 1,800 as we're speaking right now. And yeah, let's enjoy the game together. Let's watch the matches this week, and then onwards and upwards, cup final. Let's get that in the bag. First cup final of the season. Get it in the bag. Another trophy. One more to Jurgen Klopp's name. The final, last, most beautiful chapter of Jurgen Norbert Klopp's reign. End it in style. Come on, boys. No matter by hook or by crook, whatever personnel we put in the pitch, with heart, with soul, with passion. The Liverbird soaring up high into the sky, eating that dango, that mochi. All good. Fantastic. Arigato mina-san. Subscribe if you haven't already. Lots of content coming up. Lots of things working on in the background as well. I'm working on some unique designs for the channel and the branding, and some special events and some giveaways and lots of exciting stuff coming up. The house is also progressing really, really good. Keep in touch on my main channel, Miyazaki Man, to check that one out as well. And then until next time, Janer, peace.